Selamat malam semuanya. Assalamualaikum
Assalamualaikum
warahmatullahi
warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
wabarakatuh.
Salam
Salam
sejahtera
sejahtera
untuk
untuk
kita
kita
semua.
semua.
Perkenalkan
Perkenalkan
saya
saya
ini
ini
Pak
Pak
Rizal
Rizal
yang
yang
akan
akan
menjadi
menjadi
MC di acara kali
MC.
ini. Saya
Saya
perwakilan
perwakilan
dari
dari
startup
startup
lokal,
lokal,
tetapi
tapi
saya
saya
juga
juga
aktif
aktif
di
di
komunitas
komunitas
startup
startup
Bandung
Bandung
sebagai
sebagai
inisiator,
inisiator,
dan
dan
saya
saya
juga
juga
inisiator
inisiator
dari
dari
komunitas
komunitas
startup
startup
edukasi
edukasi
yang
yang
namanya
namanya
Etek
Etek
Indo.
Indo. Kita
Kita
akan
akan
mulai
memulai dengan
dengan sambutan
sambutan
dari
dari
dua
dua
pemain.
pemain.
Kaum
Kaum
yang
yang
akan
akan
menerangkan
menerangkan
apa
apa
itu
itu
program
program
terbaru
terbarunya, yaitu
yaitu Indigo
Indigo
Creative
Creative Nation.
kepada
Kepada
Mbak
Mbak
Widya.
Widya,
Silakan.
silakan.
Tepuk
Tepuk
tangan
tangan
yang
meriah
untuk
untuk
Mbak
Mbak
Widya
Widya
yang
yang akan
menjelaskan
menjelaskan
Indigo
Indigo
Creative.
Creative Nation.
So I noticed that there are foreigners here, so should I speak in English? All right, cool. So welcome everyone in our home, Telkom Jak Diva, Jakarta Digital Valley. This is our home for startup. And this is one of our facilities, so we gave access to startups that going through the Indigo program. So what is Indigo program? Okay. Indigo Creative is one of our programs to incubate and accelerate startups in Indonesia. And you can visit us more in indigo.id. And what is where from this initiative come from? So from the studies from Harvard Business School, startup tends to fail. It is said that 70 to 95% startup fails, and this is a very common fact we know. And why? What are the reasons? First, you build something nobody wants. Of course, you'll fail. Number two, you hire poorly. And number three, lack of focus, etc. And these are the issues we want to address and we want to tackle in our program, Indigo Creative Nation. So there are stages to develop digitalpreneurs like all of you guys here. First, we nurture the creativity of you guys, and then we develop the startup through one of the methods is the incubation acceleration program. And then the next, after you pass through the incubation stage, also the acceleration stage, we push you. We take you to have follow-on from institutional investors and fundraisers. We give those access. So here is the top Indigo framework. How do we do the Indigo Creative Nations? Our framework, our idea, it starts from starts from gathering your ideas, selecting the creativity, selecting the ideas from the startups, and then we move on to the phase of customer validation. You validate your customers, and then if you pass the stage, you move on to product validation. You validate your product with your customers, so it's product fit. And then if you pass this phase, we move on to business model validation. So that anyone wants to buy your products, and then if you also pass that stage, we move on to market validation, which also means the scalability of your product, and then value validation, which means we push you to have follow-on funding from investors. And through all of these stages, we give you funding on it. For example, customer validation, we give you 10 million. Product validation and business validation is 120 million. And market validation is up to 2 million. 2 billion rupiahs. Also for value validation, we give you funding on that. Also, these are the bases: people, planet, and participation. This is just our framework. People, which are startups. So the track records of our program in Indigo Creative Nation, we've done this since 2013. So 2009, there are 2,056 startups participated. And each years, we have so many proposals, and only a few could pass through from our selections. These are the examples of Indigo startups that already go to market. CG, Jarvis, Goers, Kakatu. We've seen Kakatu a few times in Metro TV, actually. And then Goers is already on pre-series A. His category is on pre-series A for funding. He gets funding for 1 million from investors and also another 1 million US dollars from international investors. So from 2013 and 2016, here's what we do. These are the startups, the Indigo alumni. Some of them, like Goers, Apaja, and then Sonar, Packet ID. These are the startups that already got follow-on funding from other investors. So we gave them funding to the incubation program, customer validation, product validation, business model validation, etc. And then after the market validation, they passed through that stage. Also, we gave them follow-on funding from international investors. These are the good business. You can find them on Play Store and find out what are their products are. So I'm sorry, anyone here are startups, right? So you know what customer validation means, right? Are you familiar with that concept? No. All right. So let me just go through that. Okay. Sorry. So if I'm going too fast, just stop me wherever you want. So in Indigo programs, we incubate and accelerate startups. And how do we do that? We categorize them through phases. Customer validations are startups that are only in idea phase. So they only have the ideas and mock-ups, but not the whole products. If we think and our stakeholders think that those ideas are valid and marketable and scalable and it's good for the future, we gave them funding, 10 million cash, to do the customer validation. We don't do the customer validation. We just give you the funding. So it's like we are the parents who give you money to go to school. This is the customer validation phase. You validate the idea of your startups. And then if you pass this phase, there are several criteria if you pass this phase. We move on to product validation. Also in product validation, we give you another funding, which is 120 million, to validate your product. Is your product is the right solution to your customer? You do that homework, we give you the money. So that is product validation. If you pass this phase, we move on to business model validation. Can your startup get revenue? Does anyone want to buy your product or use your product for money? Anyone will pay for it. This is business model validation. We give you another 120 million for that. And then if you pass this phase, we move on to market validation. This is where telecom give you access to all of our customer channels, to all of our telecom customers, our enterprise customer, and any kind of a customer that we can. This is the big thing. The market validation runs like about 1 year, and our funding from telecom is like until 2 billion rupiahs. And also there's a immersion program here where good startups with good traction, we send them to Silicon Valley. Actually, last week we just had that program ran. Someone does six startups went to Silicon Valley and do some pitching there. Also some training. And market validations. Value validation is that we and MDI, if you know that companies, MDI, we help you to get follow-on funding, not only from us, but also from international investors. So these whole series of phases are what we call Indigo Creative Nation. And this is how we incubate and accelerate the market of your startup. Move along. And see, we've run this program since 2009, and effectively in 2013, 14, 15, and 16, we have several startups that have follow-on funding. Sonar, also Packet ID, Apaja, Goers, and etc., etc. And along with that access access to funding, mentoring, and Silicon Valley program. We also give you the Planet of Creative Center. What are Creative Center? It's like a place where you can work there. Bandung, we have Bandung Digital Valley. Jogja Digital Valley. Jakarta, Jakdiva here, but it's also for only for meetup. The rest is you can come in there, bring your laptop, bring your team, bring your client to meet and have a meeting there. You can use it as your work for free. Sorry. Also, in addition to that, we have 16 creative camps in Sumatra. There are 5 cities there: Jawa, Bali, Kalimantan, and Sulawesi. 16 location of creative camps. We call it DILO, Digital Lounge. So if you see the sign, it is our place for Telkom. And if you are Indigo, if you are in Indigo program, you can use it for free. You can work there with your team. You can even call your clients and say, okay, let's meet up here. Let's meet up in Digital Valley. It's also bring up your credibility in terms in kind of, because you can give your name card and the address is not your home or anything. You can use our address. You can even put the Indigo program, the Indigo logo there to boost up your credibility. And these are the programs: 3-time coaching per week by resident mentor, and thematic subjects knowledge update and coaching by visiting mentors, and also mentoring one-on-one sessions by global mentors. We usually incorporate with MDI, Mitra Digital Invest Tama, to invite global mentors. So give you one-on-one sessions, and these sessions are very precious, ladies and gentlemen, very, very precious, because this is Angit and he's our global mentors. His time was very precious. The session for each session runs like only about 15 minutes, but it's very precious because he gives you direct advices on your problems, and you can ask him anything and he will answer you right away. These are very, very, very valuable items in our Indigo program. And these are our track records so far. Kakatu, I've mentioned you before. Kakatu is already signed an agreement, not agreement, he already done it in 2015, not only with Telkomsel, but with Samsung. Kakatu is a parental control application on smartphone. And he already did work with Samsung, in which the Samsung agreed to embed Kakatu in around 1,000 of Samsung device, Samsung tab. Also, there's Hijab, integrate with TCAS. Goers, this is very shining startup. Goers is for our directorate and consumer. And Run System is ERP solutions. This is funny because Run System is ERP solution from Jogja. And before they join Indigo, companies give them price for their modules are like 5 million per modules, because they think that, oh my God, you're just a student, so I'm just going to give you 5 million per modules. But when they join Indigo program and they put our name on their products, on their identity, in every kind of their identity, and they bring pitch to companies, they can sell like one model for 16,000 US dollars. And they said that is, and the company said that is cheap. Oh, that is cheap for in ERP's system, and that you have Telkom to back you up. Why you give us so cheap price? They were like blown away. So from 5 million rupiah to 16,000 US dollars per model. We also have X-Agent, a panic button embedded in Bandung Command Center, and Jarvistar and Prividog. Those are just some of them. And these are our partners in doing this Indigo program. We have Decoding, application sources and developer sources, Startup Local, of course, IMA, Mazillions, MICTI, DILO, MDI, Mazillions, etc. So don't worry, we have a lot of partners. You can do a lot of networking on it. You can pitch a lot of times for bringing your startup to a higher level. Now, this is one of our pride for Telkom, because Telkom Group officially opened the first office in Silicon Valley with Metra Digital Investama. And our president also encouraged us to prepare for 200 startup in 2016. So that is the homework given to Telkom for this year, 200 startup, not just startup, successful startup. That's why we really encourage you to join this Indigo program, because we want to find 200 startups in 2016. So our roadmap, just like I mentioned before, these are the incubation phase. First, the customer and idea validation runs for 1 month. That is to prove does user need it, does your idea is validated, and is your problem and solution fit. That's for 1 month. We give you 1 million. And then the next phase is, does users love it? Does users use it again and again and again and again? So not only one time. That is product validation, 120 million, and it runs for 3 months. So this is your homework for 3 months to find does your product and market fit. The next phase is good revenue model, which is, does people want to buy for it? Does people want to spend some money for your products? That is business model validation. We give you 120 million to do that for 3 months. Does your business model fit? And then the next phase is the scalability of your market. Can we scalable your market? And we give you 2 billion for that. And in all of in these phases, start from these phases, product validation, business model validation, and market validation, we will sign an agreement with you will sign an agreement with Telkom, and we will have a convert on your startup. This is for product validation is 6% per convertible note. Business model validation almost 6%, and this is up until 12% of convertible note from Telkom. That is the agreement. The benefit, of course, mentoring, which I mentioned before, from resident mentor from MDI, and then also from regional, also from global, which is Silicon Valley. We sometimes, time to time, invite them. And then funding, seed capital, in exchange to your convertible notes. Co-working space, which I mentioned before, Jagdifa, and then Telkom Group resources, and also Telkom API. For more information on Telkom API, which Telkom API you can use, you can find on mineapi.net. We provide them there. These are just the track records. Okay, so Indigo program on batch 1. To register, submit all of your proposal to Indigo ID. We only have one media for the proposal, which is indigo.id, and the timeline is from 1 until 30th of April. That is the timeline. And then from there on, we will move on to the judging period. So you will have until the end of the month to submit your ideas. And the categories are innovative idea. So it's okay if you only have ideas. Better yet, if you have products, validated customers, and active user, if you already have active user, which is great. Also, innovative business, if you already have paid user. So we have 3 categories. And the outline of proposals are this. You can find more in indigo.id. And the scoring criteria, this is important. Notice here that we put more weight on the founder instead of the business, because we believe that the successful startup mainly lies on the founder. So you have to get this kind of skills on you, getting stuff done, team bonding, team risk, and other capabilities. This is also important, but it weighs 40%. This one is 60. Okay, for more information, go to indigo.id, and I'm really hope that you will submit your proposals until the end of this month. So don't worry if it's only just ideas. Better yet, if you already have a products and active users, even better if you have users that already paid for your products. So visit indigo.id and submit your proposal. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mbak Wijaya. Suddenly, it's like in global event you use in English. Thank you so much. Okay, for the next opening speech tuh kan, jadi pakai bahasa Inggris. Please welcome from IBM untuk opening speech yang kedua. Mbaknya. Tepuk tangan yang meriah untuk IBM. 5 minutes.
5 minutes, all right, okay. Hi, my name is Pandu, Pandu. Pandu. It's traditionally a male name, but it's, it's misused on me. My name is Pandu Saswado. I'm the Territory General Manager of Managed Services Partnerships for IBM. Very long title, not very interesting. Let me just tell you about what I do. What I do is I talk to people about what their technologies are, and I try to make sure our technologies within IBM fit your needs. And in other words, I work for sales. But I'm not going to sell you anything today. I'm actually here because I was very interested about this. That's why I brought my kabaya, and I was very disappointed that no one else actually wore a kabaya. I thought it's going to be all kabaya. But this is really interesting. And the thing is, I used to be a developer back when I was in college. I developed expert systems. I did a lot of coding. And within that small laboratory, computer lab, I was the only girl. So that was also interesting. And when I actually became someone who actually started working, I didn't start in IT. I actually started work in P&G. Do you guys know P&G? I didn't work in the IT department. I worked in marketing. I was in marketing for a shampoo called Rejoice. Do you guys know Rejoice? Rejoice. I love Rejoice. I still love Rejoice. I still wear Rejoice. That's what I use every day. But this is not a good advertising for Rejoice, really. So, but when I was in Rejoice, I was thinking, I have these skills. I have the coding skills, but why am I not working in IT at that time? Well, simply because when you look at IT companies, when you just graduated, like girls look at IT companies, that looks like a sausage fest. I'm sorry. It looks like all guys, right? I mean, why would I want to go there? I'd better work at P&G and FMCG selling marketing shampoos because it makes my hair look pretty, right? That's something that, honestly, that's the barrier. I'm going to tell you a fact, and this is something not a lot of people know. In the US, can anyone guess how many IT graduates are women, percentage-wise? Only 12. Oh, someone wants to guess. Someone wants to guess. Okay. The general trend is 12%. Actually, that's this year's data, and actually it's been reduced. So it used to be like around 30% of women, but now it's about 12%, which is bad. You know how much in Indonesia? Half. I'm not kidding. Half of IT graduates are women, but workers, people who work in IT, people who code, most of them are not. So when I was in P&G and I was thinking I should try to do what I love is IT, I actually moved to IBM. And IBM is the company that introduced computers to the working world. Did you guys know that? Yeah, before that, computers were only used for research. It's not used for anything else. It's only used like if you want like large numbers or census data or something like that. It's not for business. Why would you want computers for business? They said 100 years ago. Yep, IBM is 105 years old. We introduced computers about 100 years ago, and well, not 100 years ago. I'm exaggerating. Several decades after 100 years ago. I forgot the exact year. But the thing is, when we introduced, everyone kept saying, why would I need a computer? I have a typewriter already. I don't need a computer. I have someone who calculates my math for me. I have good mathematicians. Why would I want a computer? Right now, we know why we want a computer, right? Because we're programmers and because we live in the future, 2016, right? But the thing is, back then it was a paradigm shift. There's a lot of things that change to actually change computers into something for research, into something for business. And that change is a paradigm shift that is also happening today. Now, here's the thing. Everyone here has a smartphone. A smartphone is more intelligent, far smarter than any satellite that we have pushed out of the solar system, any spacecraft. The Apollo spacecraft has less processing power than even phones from 3 years ago. And phones from this year, that's like supercomputer, man. And that's the thing. That revolution is actually changing the world. We have trends called cloud, analytics, mobile, social, security. Maybe you've heard of cloud. Everything's on the cloud these days. It's not just storage, but also processing. It's not just us meeting people on Facebook, but also us working on the cloud. It's our products as startups when we create something and we give it to the people. That is cloud. Second part is analytics, all the data that we create from social media. Third thing is social, Facebook, Twitter, and all the interactions that we have. Next is mobile. Of course, that's what I mentioned earlier. We have some supercomputers in our pockets. Maybe not this one is too big to be put in a pocket, but we do have that. And finally, we have the security that we crave. Here's the thing. That is all women-oriented. Women use mobile devices more than men. Women use Facebook and Twitter more than men, much more. It's like 70% of posts on Facebook are made by women. Women actually produce more data than men. I'm not kidding. How many selfies do we take? So that's something revolutionary. And what we're doing today